Hey everyone, this is Johnny, and you may be wondering why I'm in a different apartment today than I was just yesterday, even though yesterday's apartment was gorgeous and it was the same price as this one and twice the size. And it's because my priorities dictate that I hate commuting. I don't know if you guys all hate commuting as much as I do. And it almost kind of like boggles my mind when people say, oh, it's only a 40-minute drive to work, it's only a 40-minute drive to this, or even a 20-minute drive. I hate doing it. And I think a lot of people don't actually realize or really like sit down and think why commuting is so bad. I actually have not commuted ever in my entire life. I think I've done the drive maybe, for a few weeks, and I realized even then, even when I was in college, I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I sitting in a car for 30 minutes each way and wasting an hour of my day sitting in traffic and being stressed and just being unproductive and unhappy? Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, that's great for you, Johnny. You're a digital nomad, you can work remotely. You have this great lifestyle and you can work from wherever you are, you can move around, you're living out of an Airbnb. All these, reasons, but guess what? These are all excuses because I have not commuted even when I was working a corporate job. So to break down exactly how this all happened, let me bring you back kind of in time. So it's right after college. It's time for me to get my first corporate job, and it was in Santa Ana, California. So it was Orange County, and I was living in Mission Viejo, which is just about 30 minutes south of where I would be working. And I knew even then I did not want to drive an hour a day because that means you have to wake up half an hour earlier for the commute, and there's a chance you might get stuck in traffic, so you have to leave even earlier, car might break down, something else might happen even just before you even get there. And I knew that it would just add so much stress to my life just making that extra commute. And that extra hour that I had every day, I can either be working an extra hour, I can be going to the gym, I can be spending time with people that I care about. And what I did was I decided I'm gonna find a place, I'm gonna move out of my apartment, which was a really nice, comfortable apartment in Mission Viejo, which is like a nice part of Orange County, up into the freaking ghettos of Santa Ana. And I was so afraid to even sign a year contract for an apartment because it was a new job, it was my first job ever out of school, and they had a trial period, so I didn't even know if I was actually even gonna be able to afford to live there. So I stayed in a motel for the first month of my new job. And I think a lot of people are not even, they're not willing to do something like that, but they are willing to complain every day and just make that long commute for sometimes the rest of their freaking lives. So I moved in this motel, the job went well, and then I found an apartment, within a 5-minute drive. And from that day on, I've never commuted. Even before I worked remotely, I would just move. Even when I joined CrossFit and I knew that was gonna be my priority, I moved. So you might be asking, what did you mean you moved to join CrossFit? I was living in a place where I was again a 30-minute drive from the closest CrossFit gym, and I knew I wanted to get in shape. I knew my priority for that year was to go as often as possible, at least 5 days a week. If anything, I wanted to go every day. Even if I wasn't gonna work out, I wanted to go and be able just to stretch and hang out and be in that environment. So I knew that was my priority. So what did I do? I parked my bike at the CrossFit gym, and I literally started walking, and I made a circle and a radius. And I would say this is the best way to actually find an apartment, a place to live, is to do it by foot. Because if you drive by, it seems like, oh, it's close by, it's only 20 minutes, it's only 15 minutes, it's only 40 minutes. But when you're actually walking, you're really forced to be as close as possible. And there are so many benefits to walking. Right behind me, I'm in this courtyard, but literally right there is the Opera House, and right across the street is my co-working space. I work out right over there. There's a supermarket right downstairs. This is why I moved here, even though this apartment is so much smaller than my last one. The other one is so much more luxury. They're the same price, but I promise you the convenience of not having a commute just makes a world of difference. When I say a world of difference, I don't just mean convenience and having it be easy where you can just get out of your house and walk to work like I'm doing right now. I mean a world of difference as in your paycheck, in your wallet, in your health. Let's just talk about the money, okay? Would you guys rather work 4 days a week or 5 days a week? Easy question. A lot of people don't think about this, but if you have an hour commute, all right, let's say it's in 45 minutes, but it takes you 15 minutes to get to your car, find parking, it's gonna take you about an hour, right? An hour each way means 2 hours a day times 5, right? If you just worked one last day and didn't have to commute, or was able to just walk to your work, you can literally work 4 days a week instead of 5. For most people, that means they are working the equivalent of an entire extra day. So not only are you working 5 days a week at your job, you're spending 1 full day commuting to the job. So it's like you're working 6 days a week and only getting paid for 5. Regardless of how efficient your car is, it costs money to be able to commute. You're spending money on tires, right? On brakes, oil changes, gas, car washes, insurance. The sanity of driving, your physical and your mental health of being in a car, finding parking, all of these things cost you time and money. Not to mention that when you're walking, you stumble upon stuff like this. Like you literally find cherry trees, depending where you live, I guess, but you just find cool stuff. You find cool restaurants, find cool places to be, and you just discover things that you normally would not discover. Okay, so how much does that actually end up costing you? Well, financial blogger, Mr. Money Mustache, he estimated that in 10 years, even with just a normal commute, which means one that's not that bad, in 10 years, if you didn't commute, you would have saved $125,000. That's every decade. That's $125,000. On the flip side, you are losing 125 grand by sitting in traffic or commuting. So it is terrible. I mean, just even if you think about the amount of hours that you were sitting there and not getting paid, even if you just have a normal job and you're getting paid, $50,000 a year or $25 an hour, if you add that up, amount of time that you are not working, that adds up. But that's not the biggest part. Is imagine if you took that time, that same amount of time, the same 4 hours a week or 8 hours a week or 10 hours a week, and you actually put it either towards advancing your career or building your own business, where would you be today? Imagine if you took 8 hours a week for the past how many months or years you've been commuting, and you had actually put that towards building your own business on the side, an online business, for example. Imagine where you would be today with an extra couple $1,000s a month in supplemental income that may allow you to quit your job and not have any commute at all. I want to tell you guys a story about my cousin who I love dearly, and what I wish he never would have done. I wish he never would have bought a house that had a commute. And here's the problem is, at first it wasn't even a big commute. It was, he had a long drive, like a 40-minute drive or something, and his wife had a shorter drive, like a 20-minute drive or something. And they're like, okay, we'll buy a house. It's time, we're married, we're gonna have kids. I think we should have some stability in our lives. But here's the thing is, we are not in control of our jobs, our employment, or what's happening in the world. And what ended up happening is his company ended up moving, and all of a sudden, instead of having a 20 or 40-minute commute, now they both have a longer commute. So they both are commuting like an hour in the same direction. And I said, oh, great, why don't you guys just move to that city? Because you guys are both working near each other, and everything would be easy. And they said they can't because they had just bought this house. They spent all this money on closing costs, on moving in, on furnishing the place, literally thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And they can't sell the house because they'll definitely lose money on selling the house. because they just moved in and they can't rent it out. You know, I guess they could. That actually is an option for you guys. And I'm gonna go into solutions before the end of this video, because I don't want to just leave you guys devastated thinking, oh crap, my life sucks, I have to commute. You know, F you, Johnny. You know, I want everybody to have a solution. So here's the solution. Okay. The first solution is, wherever you are today, make the most of it. So if you have to commute, make the most of it, make it as seamless or as easy as possible. So if you have a long ride, see if you can take public transport, see if you can take a train, see if you can carpool, see if you can do something where you're not the one driving all the time. Because not only is that going to save you money, but more importantly, that's going to save you kind of the mental energy and the space where you can do something else. And if for whatever reason it's not possible for you to take public transport there, so then you can read a book, or work on a business plan or something else, or learn a language, or learn a programming language, learn a skill while you're commuting. Listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook, use your time to actually learn a skill while you are driving. Instead of listening to music in the morning, or listening to some talk radio or something else that's kind of just dulling the time, use that hour to learn something. I know Pat Flynn mentioned this, where he listened to podcasts, and that's how he got his idea to create his online course, or his book, where he was able to replace his income. And it all started by listening to podcasts. If you haven't listened to Travel Like a Boss or Invest Like a Boss, check out these podcasts to start, but there's tons of other ones and audiobooks that you can learn from. But everything else up until here is a band-aid. It's a way to make the best of the situation. But the best actual situation is to take advantage of the modern day society, where we can all work remotely, we can work online, you can work from home, you can create your own business. And I really think that being a digital nomad, or being a location independent entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, is the ultimate solution. You know, I'm able to live out of an Airbnb, which is something that wasn't possible, even a few years ago, where now we can literally just move into a fully furnished flat, a fully furnished apartment or house, and have everything we need. We have all the kitchenware already. I just cooked myself breakfast today. I didn't have to go out and buy pots and pans. Everything is already there, and this is such a beautiful age to live in that never existed before this. There are co-working spaces everywhere. I'm gonna walk to one right now after this video, and I don't have to set up internet or buy furniture or tables or desks or lamps or power outlets or anything. Everything is there for rent. And this is the first time in human history that life is this easy, to be remote, to be location independent, to be able to take care, of your life. But what it really requires is a bit of flexibility. And I think this is why being a minimalist, or following the minimalism principles, makes it so much easier to take advantage of these things. Because if you watched yesterday's video, if I had a ton of stuff, I've had a whole apartment or house full of stuff, there's no way I'd be moving every week or every single month. It would just be too hard. And there's the quote that the things you own end up owning you. And I think that's so true, because now that I don't own anything, I don't have much stuff, I am so free just to be able to pick up and go and move into a new place and travel and enjoy the summer in Europe and go places where the costs of living are lower than my life back in San Francisco. I make the exact same amount of money whether I'm living in a cheap place like Ukraine, which is actually beautiful if you guys haven't noticed, or if I was in New York. And if you just watch this right here, this part right here, you'd be like, oh, this is probably New York or France or something, somewhere really expensive, or even maybe San Francisco. I'm enjoying the same quality of life, but at a fraction of the price, and I have no commute. So let me know below in the comments what some of your things holding you back are. I don't want to call you guys out on it, but I want to make sure they're not just an excuse. That I guarantee you, every single person has some kind of solution, and often the very first step is just making your life easier by getting rid of things that are holding you back. Whether it's physical items and just stuff you own, or things that things that you think you need, like a giant house, or a big garage or whatever it is. Let me know. What's holding you back below? What are your plans? And what is your dream life? I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know what else you want to hear about, because I'm really excited about this topic. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.